City. Why is this game important? Wichita State a half game out of first place as Illinois State and Wichita State in a tussle for the top spot, and the Loyola Ramblers looking to get to a third place position possibly with a victory today over their nemesis in the Valley, Wichita State. Remember the album, Frampton Comes Alive? Well, it's playing right now in Wichita, but it's Fran Camp Comes Alive. He is showing the Wichita Shockers the way. The last 7 games, 59% from the three-point line, nearly 15 points a game. Fran Camp has come alive for the Wichita State Shockers. And the hometown kid for Loyola, Milton Doyle. His last 2 games, really good versus Wichita State. Milton Doyle is going to be spinning hits as well in the Windy City. It's Fran Camp versus Doyle. Loyola versus Wichita State in the Missouri Valley Conference right now on ESPNU. Our battles belong to Rich Holmes. We've got a good one today.
Well, Wichita State, Wichita State has been as dominant as any team in the country over the past 30 days. I'll get my voice back here pretty soon.
Hang in there, partners. We got a good one here today.
Shockers have been dominant, though. Mike Stewart, Kip Kessinger, Zelton Steve working the game. Loyola gave a game to Wichita State in the roundhouse. Shockers get first chance.
It'll be interesting to watch how Wichita State now attacks defensively, as Loyola knows a great offensive team, but a team that's struggling at times defensively. I would expect them to try to get it inside and push them the first.
Richardson gets the foul.
I've got a ton of crowd noise in my head.
Outstanding defender, Richardson.
I've got a ton of crowd noise in my head.
Shamet.
Right away from Shaq Morris down to Landry Shamet, who flushes that thing. Really good first possession for Wichita State. They send a message.
Mark, he's been great on the road. Good at home, but even better on the road. Emerging as one of the nation's better freshmen, Landry Shamet. Doyle. Answer.
Number 35 in white, Milton Doyle. He's the guy that can deliver a 30-point game, can deliver a win here at home in a big Missouri Valley Conference game for this Rambler basketball program.
Hustle play by Morris.
And that's a big key for Wichita State. Can they get on the offensive glass? They only had 4 offensive rebounds against Loyola in the win in Wichita. Shaq Morris looks like has come to play early.
Loyola actually out-rebounded Wichita State at the roundhouse, which never happens. Richardson. Richardson for
3. 3 words for Loyola. Hard to guard. One of the top shooting teams in the nation.
Number 6 in the country, to be exact.
Number 6, they shoot over 50%.
Morris is down. We have seen him, when he decides to be a force, Mark, it changes everything for Wichita State.
Yeah, big number 24 for Greg Marshall. When he brings it physically inside, when he's aggressive offensively, it changes all the dynamics of the Wichita State Shockers. We talked about the importance of offensive glass work, and Morris went down trying to shag that thing. It looks like he might have come down on a foot, but he stays in.
10 blocks in his last 3 games against Loyola. Shaq Morris going right to him again. Ingram on the take. Good closeout by Shamet on the three-point attempt by Clayton Custer.
A ton of energy in this building as well.
They sense it.
Well, it's a huge game for Loyola. They're one game under 500 in conference play. As Shaq Morris goes down low, physical with the turnover.
Custer. On the line.
Good defense by Loyola as they close down the passing lane, and Clayton Custer takes it coast to coast. I like the aggression of Loyola early in this basketball game, and Clayton Custer's a guy, when he gets going and plays well, this team plays well.
Started at Iowa State, prolific scorer in high school in Kansas City. He's hit 10 free throws in a row now.
And Mitch, Loyola has not finished over 500 in a conference since 06-07. And this is their opportunity at 6-7 with 5 games to go. They need a home win today. Not to mention seeding in Arch Madness, where third place is well within reach.
And Northern Iowa's hot.
Good ball movement.
McDuffie. Was good against Loyola in Wichita. Mark had a career-high 26 against the Ramblers at the Roundhouse.
And there's such good ball movement from Wichita State. They really spaced the floor well on that possession. You can expose Loyola defensively if you really cut hard and move the basketball aggressively.
Tough shot. Andre Jackson.
He ranks 4th in the NCAA. Andre Jackson, number 24 for Loyola. He shoots nearly 70% from the floor.
4th in the nation in field goal shooting. Great signee for Porter Mosier. And now a foul on a 3. Ingram. Shamet gets 3.
First personal, second team foul.
You know, I've watched Landry Shamet throughout the season. Of course, he's taken on the leadership role of this team in their half-court offense. He's rangy defensively. You know, early in the season, I would see him be a freshman for about a possession or 2 a game. You know, and he's not a freshman anymore.
No.
I don't see any of those freshman mistakes anymore as he's matured into this role.
And again, his numbers have actually been better on the road. He's 90% at the line on the road.
Well, this team has been great on the road for a long time. Since 2010, 2011, Wichita State leads the entire country in road winning percentage. They've won 82% of their games. Landry Shamet and Connor Frankamp, they've spun their hits on the road. That's where they've played their best basketball. Now Frankamp's been playing really well anywhere. A little full court pressure now from Wichita State.
Doyle, press attack. Loyola, hustle play by Skokna. Keeps it to work. How important is Porter Mosier's bench? He's got to get something out of the bench today.
He's got to get some minutes out of his bench, and he's got to be able to attack that full court pressure. Interesting to watch Greg Marshall go with full court trapping pressure this early in the basketball game. Porter Mosier worked on it today in the shoot around to have his team ready. They broke pressure, they just didn't score against it.
Good defense by Merger.
Loyola in attack mode offensively. Andre Jackson, 69% from the floor. Buckets, 10-9 Ramblers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year. One a day men's and women's. And the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
Ramblers by 1 on the North Shore. Mitch Holtz is with you along with Mark Adams here at the Gentile Center. Energy for Loyola to start the game.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that energy, as Loyola, a team that came in the conference 4 seasons ago, and now they're vying for a winning record in conference play. Now listen, when you go up against Wichita State, you better come with your work boots on, and that's exactly what this team has done. Porter Mosier has his team fired up for this basketball game, and Milton Doyle has to be the leader of this team today. He's a senior that's been through the wars with Porter Mosier. This is a huge game for Loyola to make a statement in the Valley and also potentially grab the 3rd seed in Arch Madness, because number 1 and 2 have gone away. Illinois State and Wichita State are going to battle this thing out to the last weekend for the conference championship.
And again, Northern Iowa's hot, 7 of 8. McDuffie's hot too.
Now Marcus McDuffie, one of those offensive players with length that can see over smaller defenders.
Custer, quick try on an answer.
Got away with a push off there. They really look for Andre Jackson. There he is, matched up with Ronald Nerzier.
He's already hit that shot.
Boy, is that quick!
Andre Jackson. Shot number 20. Ronald Nerzier. First personal, second team foul for the Raiders.
Andre Jackson went for 18 points on 7 for 7 field goal attempts in the loss on January 11th at Wichita. How quick was that spin move? He was on spin cycle right there against Ronald Nerzier.
And how much of that baseline jumper set that up that he hit to start the game.
Oh, that's the thing about Andre Jackson. He's a difficult matchup. Undersized, but he's got a little bit of Adrian Dantley in his game.
Big.
Or Zach Brown, you can't speed him up. Andre Jackson kind of came out and bluffed him like he was coming out on the ball and then stopped. And Zach Brown, the junior, just measured him.
Just 25% from 3 since New Year's Day. And Jackson's killing Nerzier.
Greg Marshall had to go zone in Wichita State because of Andre Jackson. They couldn't stop him from attacking the basket. He was 7 for 7 in that game. Rarely do you see Wichita State go zone. We may see it today.
Jackson is a force.
You better give it to him again. He's been hot. There he is. Watch number 24 in white.
Jackson. Nine for Jackson.
Andre Jackson just used the rim perfectly to protect that shot.
9 for Jackson.
Boy, Loyola just out, rabbit dog defense. Andre Jackson has been on fire as Milton Doyle comes up with the steal. Watch him use the rim right here. Landry Shamet, a good enough athlete to go block that thing on the ball side of the rim. So what does Andre Jackson do? Watch him. Uses the rim to protect the shot. That's a crafty move by Andre Jackson.
Markey had 18 in Wichita. Did not miss a shot. 7 of 7 from the field and 4 of 4 at the line.
Now we're seeing what a mismatch he is and what a difficult matchup he is defensively for Wichita State.
Porter Mosier's got to figure out when to rest him, too. He's going to try to rest him here and get to the under 12. Because we've seen Wichita State's depth just dominate at times.
And Loyola, not a real deep team. Porter Mosier wants to develop a little bit more depth, but it really comes down to Andre Jackson in media timeouts. Give him a minute here and there, and then let him go to war.
Deshaun Smith, great steal. Shamet. Two on Richardson.
Now the Wichita State defense, this is athleticism right here as Deshaun Smith just goes up and gets it. And then Landry Shamet. He's learned how to finish through contact. Loyola shooting 58% in the early going, Mitch, of this basketball game. And energy-wise, they have come out here, as I said, like rabid dogs defensively. The more Milton Doyle stays engaged and aggressive, the better for Loyola. The key to Milton Doyle, you can't settle for jump shots. He's got to be in attack mode and get to the free throw line. Number 35 in white, here he goes.
Ingram, real miss. 56% from the field. Big.
Rashard Kelly from deep. He's an X-factor guy. 41% from the high in the arc. Defensively is rangy, and you leave him alone like that, makes Wichita State really dangerous.
Already 4 ties, 6 lead changes. Kirby. That's a bonus too. Kirby doesn't score much.
Number 21.
Now, Maurice Kirby, if you can get anything out of him inside, he's a big body inside. Good recognition on the defensive miscue on the ball screen. And Kirby strong enough to go through traffic, through Darrell Willis, and score. You know, Loyola, when you watch them and scout them, they are hard to guard. The number of ball screens that they use, and it's not just big to small ball screens, it's mid-size to mid-size, big to mid-size, little guys to bigs. I mean, it is really hard to have all of your guys in position to defend their ball screen offense.
Kirby is 7 of 19 from the line for the year. But he's got to give them some minutes in the post. Willis.
Loyola turning this thing into a dogfight against Wichita State. 12-1 Wichita State, a half game behind Illinois State, up by 1 right now in Chicago.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year. One-a-day men's and women's, and the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
A beautiful and glorious day in Chicago. That's Lake Michigan, just off the campus of Loyola University here in the Windy City. Let's check out the storylines across the Missouri Valley Conference. How good is Connor Frankamp? Really good. MVC Player of the Week last week, 17 points a game. Look at his assist-to-turnover ratio, 7-1. Southern Illinois Salukis, Clyde the Glide Frazier comes home to celebrate the 1967 NIT Championship with Barry Hinson and the nowadays Salukis of Southern Illinois. And the Evansville Purple Ices, they've earned 4 consecutive road wins yesterday, defeating Southern Illinois during that celebration, spoiling the party 75-70. But we are here today as Loyola trying to get a statement victory over Wichita State. Wichita State in a first place battle with Illinois State, who won last night over their rivals Bradley in the I-74 rivalry.
Jackson.
I like the spacing of Wichita State as has to rotate defensively because Milton Doyle in the ball movement allows him an open look to the basket.
Mark, how good was he in Wichita? 23 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals.
Now, Milton Doyle's having a monster season for Loyola.
Reeves, best three-point shooter in the valley, 53%.
Austin Reeves with that soft Arkansas touch. he always looks poised. He always looks under control. It's hard to speed him up in a basketball game. And he's only a freshman, number 12 in black, Austin Reeves for Wichita State.
Shocks hit 12 threes in the roundhouse in their earlier win over Loyola. Ingram.
Boy, the spacing for Loyola now is excellent. It's putting a lot of pressure on this Wichita State defense. This has turned into an offensive game. That's the advantage to Loyola. He's one of the top offensive teams in America, the top 5 in field goal percentage.
Doyle, clear pass.
Shocker foul, number 32, Marcus McDuffie. First personal.
Because of the Loyola spacing and ball movement, now we're seeing a 94-foot situation. Milton Doyle says, okay, if you're going to give me the avenue, I'm going to put it down left hand and go right to the rim. This has been an impressive start by Loyola today. And Milton Doyle, the leader of this basketball team.
And the Ramblers had lost 3 straight in heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah, 3 by a total of 9 points. 3 games by a total of 9 points. That's the margin of error that needs to be erased here against a highly successful, highly talented Wichita State team.
Doyle.
Shamet now comes into the game. Deshaun Smith will sit down for Greg Marshall.
Doyle started at Kansas and transferred back to his hometown. He's in the top 5 of about every major statistic in the league.
A little bit of full court pressure here from Loyola. Loyola on a 5-0 run. That's the biggest lead, and Landry Shamet just stopped that run.
Great play set up by Greg Marshall to get Shamet right at the goal on a flex cut.
Late shot clock, it's Milton Doyle time. Good defense by Wichita State. That was their best 30-second defensive effort of the game so far. Nothing easy.
Shocks 5 in the country in field goal percentage defense. Illinois State is 4th. The top 2 teams in this league are 4 and 5 in the country in that stat.
That's a foul.
Bad foul by Doyle.
Milton Doyle, first personal.
Now Marcus McDuffie, one of those tough matchups in the Valley. Has good size, he's got improving strength, and also an improving repertoire in that mid-post area.
McDuffie 6 of 7 against Loyola and Wichita in that shocker victory in January.
UConn is on a quest for 100. Gino Auriemma and the number 1 Huskies will take on Don Staley and the number 6 North Carolina Monday in what could be their 100th straight win. Catch all the action at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Don't miss that one. 100 in a row. And people ask me, is that bad for women's basketball? Heck no, the Yankees weren't bad for Major League Baseball in the 60s and 70s when they were dominant. The Patriots are good for the NFL. Gino Auriemma, I mean, it's brought so much attention to women's basketball. That's a great thing.
Loyola will keep it. I'm ready to get an all-star team up to try to take on UConn.
I don't know.
SEC All-Stars.
I don't know if an all-star team would beat them.
Custer uses the screen.
You know, Mitch, Wichita State has been a dominant force in the Missouri Valley. And you look around the buildings when this team comes to town, and it's a sellout again here in Chicago. Wichita State, and the way that they play and the way that they've represented themselves in the NCAA tournament, That's been a good thing for the Missouri Valley Conference. It's been a good thing for basketball in the cities of Peoria, Chicago, Cedar Falls, all around the valley.
Still no bonus for the Shockers.
Of course, now Illinois State working hard to take that crown away from Wichita State in the regular season.
What a great crowd last night in Normal, too.
Really good, really good. A lot of fun.
Campus is alive for that team.
Boy, Paris Lee really played well. So smart.
Doyle everywhere.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things. Now, I don't like that shot. I think that's where he settled for the jump shot instead of getting teammates involved or attacking the rim. It's a good decision by Shaq Morris. He was set up to take the charge right there, and he didn't take the bait.
Custer is on McDuffie. If the Shockers see it, they got an advantage. Instead, Reeves gets hit. No call, but a follow by Zach Brown. He's got 5. 6-0 run by the Shockers.
And Wichita State just so good on the offensive glass.
That would have been a bonus, too, from Cameron Satterwhite. He's not a scorer.
Good ball movement. Walk. Wichita State trying to hang with Illinois State, who won last night. Loyola down 2 here in Chicago. Speaking of perfection, that's Andre Jackson, who right now against Wichita State in 1 game plus is 11 for 11 from the floor. Why? Hard to guard. He can put the ball on the floor, he can face up. Look at that long first step to the basket. He can dribble drive you, and in the open floor, he's crafty at using the rim to avoid the shot block. Perfection. 11 for 11 in his last 11 shots versus Wichita State. 100 is a ton. That's a lot better than 11 for 11, by the way.
But Jackson, a sign of what Porter Moser has done recruiting to this program. Got him out of McLennan JUCO, Waco, Texas. But a big-time recruit to get him, and more coming.
Yeah, he's just such a hard-to-guard guy. There he is right there. I like this coming out of that timeout. Put a little pressure on the defense that way. Get it to it. Smart.
Strong.
Make that 12 for 12 for number 24, Andre Jackson, last 1 game plus versus Wichita State. This defense never gives up 12 in a row to anybody in America.
Strong double. Shots meant to double Jackson.
They may go zone.
Grand Camp. Morris. Lost track of the shot clock. Morris got the offensive board. And Greg Marshall's team a rare turnover, losing track of the shot clock.
It's going to be interesting to watch how Greg Marshall manages this basketball game, as they're going to go and try to speed him up with a little bit of full court pressure. But in the half court sets, when you look at Andre Jackson, what he's doing, and Milton Doyle, the matchup problem there, they may have to take and make a few defensive adjustments here at halftime.
I would think they'd try to wear him down, Mark, but Jackson wide open. Well, there's your first miss.
There's the first miss, and that was a blocked shot by Shaq Morris. Great defense by number 24 for Wichita State. Now, let's see if Wichita State returns the favor, gets the ball inside to Shaq Morris. After a blocked shot, I like feeding the big guy. Give him a chance to start to eat a little bit.
Strong board by Ingram.
They're not shy. That's how they play.
Richardson,
to watch.
He's been cold of late. 10 of his last 32 from 3.
But what does Porter Moser tell him? Keep shooting. for the ball is really stalling a lot for Wichita State.
No stall there. 11 for Sherman.
You know, Landry Shamet is one of those guys, even when your offense breaks down, he can make a play. That's what Baker developed into. That's what Van Vliet developed into. And Landry Shamet now becoming that go-to guy as Porter Moser trying to find a defensive solution versus Landry Shamet. The solution on the offensive end is bang a three ball. And Loyola, so efficient offensively, they can distribute the basketball for guys like Ben Richardson, for Clayton Custer, for Milton Doyle. When they go inside out and you get that defense rotating as Ingram knocks it down, look at the plethora of shooters they can go to outside. I mean, look at the three-point leaders. You got Austin Reeves, we saw him earlier, Dante Ingram, Clayton Custer, all in this game right now.
As a team, Loyola best in the Valley for three-point shooting overall. And better in conference play than they were non-conference.
Well, nationally, they're in the top 5 in field goal percentage overall. So this is a team that shoots over 50% as a team. There's a reason for that. Highly skilled. He's got to get to the rim or pass it out to an open teammate.
Look out. Brown's got 8 in the first half. 2 threes.
Yeah, Zach Brown has shot the ball really well in the first half. That's great news for the Wichita State contingent. Let's see if Loyola now can answer. Remember that depth thing. This is where teams get a little bit tired late in halves.
Ingram stays right with it.
It's not enough to just block off. Got to block off and go get the basketball, and Ronald Nerzer just watched it bounce.
Foul, McDuffie. Second foul on McDuffie.
It's a 1-2 thing, and Dante Ingram has a lot of 1-2 in his game. Sticks it right back over Ronald Nerzer. At 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Be sure to close out your weekend with SportsCenter at night. John Bucci-Gross and John Anderson are your hosts, and fun will be had by all as usual with those two Johns. They'll have round ball highlights, puck highlights, golf highlights, and everything else. It's SportsCenter at night on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Loyola so good offensively, over 40% from behind the arc, over 50% overall. This team is a nightmare to guard. But why are they under 500? They haven't closed out close games. In the last 3 ball games, they've lost by a combined 3 points. Why? Settling for jump shots in late game situations. And Porter Moser wants his team to be in attack mode. When they're in attack mode, they're better than 50%. They're better than 40%.
And how slight is their margin, Mark? Today it would be even slighter, but excuse me, overall, it's a slight margin.
Well, because of depth as well. This is a team that has to weather storms and manage minutes, but always be in attack mode. You can't just settle for a jump shot unless it's an inside-out jump shot. See what Porter Moser has up his sleeve coming out of the timeout.
Custer really struggling from 3. 2 for his last 20. Doyle
Much better,
at the
much
rim.
better. I still like it.
Foul on Wichita State. Doyle goes to the rack on your exhortation.
But look at the good things that happen when Milton Doyle goes to the basket. He's either going to score it, or you get an offensive rebound on the backside, or you get a foul on it. He's a really good athlete that can attack the rim more aggressively. That's a legal screen. That's a good call.
Question is, who's it on? It's on Ingram. That's his second.
Second personal.
It's a heck of a play, by the way.
Yeah.
But it was no legal screen. Greg Marshall, out of every timeout, he calls 3 specific plays. And his team is expected to execute all 3 of them in succession as we come down. He's a master at it. It's an old John Kress coaching move. And he learned from one of the best as an assistant for John Kress early in his career.
It's like the football working off the script, your first 15 plays.
They do it out of every timeout. 3 scripted plays. Well, Shaq Morris wants it. He had it deep. Telegraph pass.
Jackson wide open.
From Ben Richardson. Decided not to take the J and dump it inside to Andre Jackson, the finisher.
Fresh legs for Jackson. He got a little bit of a rest. Now Doyle is fouling.
Ben Richardson makes a great read right here. Now, he's open for the jump shot, but Andre Jackson, he knows how to inherently fill the open wood, get to the open space, and then make himself available.
A couple things here, though. 1-1 for Wichita State. 1-1, but now 2 fouls on Doyle and 2 fouls on Ingram for Loyola, so a bit of a danger time here for the Ramblers.
Yeah, foul trouble and fatigue, the 2 Fs that could bring this team down here in Chicago today.
Lane violation. Morris too quick in the lane. Nope, I'm going to say a foul.
Got a foul, Shaq Morris.
Still no bonus for the Ramblers.
Now Wichita State's going to go high risk, high reward now in their full court trapping defense. They're going to try to lay the hammer down a little bit here before the half.
And against 2 bench guys for Loyola in because of foul trouble. So Scope and Granich have got to give Loyola some minutes here.
Good job by Loyola, but it burns up 9 seconds in the shot clock. Loyola's really never gotten the ball movement on this possession because of that full court pressure. It slowed down Loyola. See, I hate that call. Why not play on? As long as the opposing team plays great defense and gets the basketball, I'm begging the rules committee to change that rule.
It takes away a breakaway.
When an official sees the ball go to the opposing team, let him play. Let him play 94 feet.
It takes away an offensive play, and you're basically penalizing them for defensive play.
We want to speed up the game, right? Let's speed it up by keeping the ball in play on that particular play. Now, if it goes back to Loyola, then you call the violation. But if it's in Wichita State's hands, let him go. Common sense. I'm a little testy. You know what I'm saying? It's February, like all the coaches and players. I'm a little testy.
Tough play. Morris goes to the line.
Jackson.
First foul on Jackson.
Shaq Morris continues to aggressively call for the basketball. I've seen a difference in him over the last 3 games. Get ready, gang. These games are the epitome of Big Monday. We've got number 4 Louisville squaring off with Syracuse, has been hot at the Carrier Dome. In the first one at 7 p.m. Then it's number 13 West Virginia and number 3 Kansas at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
West Virginia had a double-digit win over Kansas in Morgantown.
How about Kansas getting a win at Texas Tech? That was an absolute beehive down there.
By a fingernail.
Yeah, Chris Beard's done a really good job with Texas Tech.
Good coach, really good coach.
Formerly at Arkansas, Little Rock, really good coach.
30-5 at Little Rock. Bob Knight disciple.
Bob Knight was in the house yesterday, as a matter of fact. Doesn't go to Indiana, but he's more than happy to go to Texas Tech.
Key 90 seconds here for the Ramblers. Custer has had a rough first half.
That's because of the swarming length of the Wichita State black jersey defense.
Custer just 1 for 5. Great pass. Kelly's going to the line. Nurger, big to big.
And Loyola played a lot of defense on that possession as the ball was able to go to and fro, and Ronald Nurger right there finds Rashard Kelly inside. That was just really good offensive patience. They caught him in a rotation finally late in the shot clock.
Speaking of to and fro, 2 fouls now on Doyle, Ingram, and Andre Jackson.
Like we said, fouls and fatigue. That's the enemy of Loyola to pull off this upset today.
In a rare 2-possession lead right now in this game for either team.
And the other enemy has been Rashard Kelly and Zach Brown. Both those guys have made some big plays in this first half.
Somebody different every night for these guys.
That's why they're so hard to prepare for.
One of the Valley's best offensive teams in a generation. And it comes from everywhere.
See how aggressive Milton Doyle is here with the basketball.
Custer 1 for 6. Timeout, Wichita State. They've got the use it or lose it.
Well, it's been an interesting half to watch the styles of play as Loyola offensively was in a really good rhythm for about 15 minutes of this half, but shots have been short. You always wonder in February, fatigue, if legs go late in each half. And I think we've seen a little bit of that for Loyola. That depth of Wichita State can wear you down.
Saw it some other games around the country as well.
And Wichita State has been hammering people. These are the historic margins in the history of the second oldest conference in the country. Cincinnati back in the late 60s hammered people by 21 points per game. Cincinnati in 57-58, that's an Oscar Robertson team, by the way, 19.3 points per game. And Wichita State this year at over 19 points per game. That's making history right there. We're talking about some of the greatest college basketball teams in history. At the University of Cincinnati, they went to 5 consecutive Final Fours and won the national title twice.
7 straight wins by Wichita State by an average of 24 points on campus at home. 31, that leads the nation.
Landry Shamet inside to Rashard Kelly. How good was that for Greg Marshall coming out of timeout?
Biggest lead.
Charge.
Ooh. They're going to give it to Custer. His first basket
block. Wow. Well, they're going to call it a block.
Kelly thought he was there.
I thought he was there too, and if you're saying he's moving, it doesn't matter. His feet were set, he established a defensive guarding position.
Custer needed that, and so did his teammates.
Look for Shamet, number 11 in black. Connor Frankamp, the other guy, number 33 in black.
Good Shamet open. Wow. Wichita State fortunate they didn't turn it over. Loyola would have had the last shot.
Andre Jackson, the leading scorer for Loyola, nearly perfect in the first half. He's been down low, 13 points, 6 for 7. And Landry Shamet, the leader of this basketball team for Wichita State. After a short timeout, Brendan Fitzgerald joins you for the halftime report. Going to talk a little bit of UConn women's and that quest for 100, along with highlights of a great game between Texas Tech and Kansas and St. Mary's and undefeated Gonzaga. The Zags are still undefeated.
State with a halftime lead over Loyola, 40-36. Loyola won the national title in 1963. They only had 2 losses in a whole year.
March 2nd of 1963 at Chicago Stadium. Number 3 Loyola entered the game with only 1 loss. Wichita State won that game 73-72, number 8 over number 3. And after that, did Loyola get better? As a matter of fact, they did. In the NCAA tournament, Loyola defeated Tennessee Tech, Mississippi State, Illinois, and Duke before upsetting 2-time defending national champion Cincinnati 60-58 in overtime. That 111-42 win over Tennessee Tech is still the greatest margin of victory in NCAA history in the NCAA first round. That Loyola game, I remember that game as I was 6 years old at the time, and Cincinnati I thought was invincible. They weren't. Loyola won that game, and of course, Sister Jean Schmidt, who you'll hear a little bit about here in the second half, was at Mundelein College during that time. She joined the celebration in the streets right outside of this arena, and that's the national championship banner for that 1963 Loyola Rambler basketball team.
That team also historic. They had the game against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Mississippi State had to sneak off campus to play them.
That was celebrated a few years back right here.
Rick Ray was the coach at Mississippi State and agreed to come here to reenact that moment.
So it's adjustment time for Loyola. It's about putting pressure on the Wichita State defense with ball movement and then attacking the rim. And Andre Jackson give him space to move down on the block. Watch, really good defense. They tried to set up Milton Doyle for a back cut right there. Really good defense on the defensive end by Zach Brown.
Custer, great defense off Custer's leg.
Well, Wichita State just in lockdown defensive mode.
And how deflating is it when your first second half play that you've designed doesn't work, or your second, or your third, and then this works.
So Loyola comes out. They wanted to set up a back cut for Milton Doyle. Wichita State comes out with a back cut for Connor Frankamp. One doesn't work, the other works. Amazing how both coaches came out with this, basically the same play to open the second half.
Boy, Milton Doyle's missed that shot 3 times in this game. Kind of mid-range look. Kirby's fouling, trying to prevent the ball to go to Morris.
Yeah, Shaq Morris is going after Maurice Kirby down low. And he's getting defense, he's getting offensive position so deep in the paint. This dude has come to play. He's come to play about the last 7 games or so. Ever since Bradley, he's been really good.
Well, not great by Morris. Doyle in transition. McDuffie's reaching in.
So Loyola comes out with Milton Doyle trying to isolate him and try to get a back cut early. The defense really good as they dig the basketball and they give Loyola nothing easy on the end. It turns into the turnover. On the opposite end, they set up Frankamp for the back cut, executed perfectly inside for the layup. That's just great execution.
Ingram walks.
Another turnover to open the half for Loyola.
Kip Kissinger with the call. Ingram thought he got separation. He was trying to get a 3rd foul on McDuffie.
Good screen. That's strong. That is strong. Shaq Morris down low.
Custer, and he's got another and one opportunity.
Watch Shaq Morris down low. Look at how he gets the angle. You can't let him play angles down low. He got the defender on the high shoulder and then just muscled through.
Second team foul.
Shamet picks up the foul, his second. And Custer has a chance for a second three-point play.
We'll see if out of the made free throw, if Porter Moser decides to go a little full court pressure here against Wichita State.
Custer struggling from three. 0 for 4 in this game. He came in 56% from three over his last four.
Loyola now falls back in the 1-3-1 zone. They go right to Shaq Morris. Really good job of reading a defense and getting it to your hot guy. Shaq Morris stepping into open spaces. Good ball movement.
Custer in rhythm. Much different in rhythm that time.
That's what Loyola does here. When they can spread you and move the basketball, really good.
Second in the league to Wichita State in assists.
Look at the ball movement offensively. This is why this team shoots over 50% from behind the arc, or excuse me, overall, and 40% from behind the arc. Because when you get a look like that, that's money. Loyola's now going to double team Shaq Morris down low. He'll have to turn into a passer now offensively. They've seen enough of that.
Morris has scored the last 12 Shocker points wrapped around the half.
Loyola now goes man-to-man.
Great look by Shamet. How about the elevation on the three? Freshman record now, 16 straight games with a three.
When you go behind the screen, Landry Shamet's going to burn you.
Brown, great job on Dora. Biggest lead of the game for the Shockers. Look out. Just like that.
Wichita State has made every right adjustment coming out at halftime, and Connor Frankamp right there leading the way with that three ball. Wichita State answers the bell, up 10 to open up the second half.
Presented by Wendy's.
Wichita State, that was a two-pointer by Connor Frankamp, but let's take a look at his footwork. As Connor Frankamp, this is his go-to move. Watch the lift fake, but pay attention to his feet. Right there, look how much court he covers on that little crossover going left and the balance on the jump shot. This is classic Connor Frankamp. And if you're a defender, you can't give up on that play. You got to get after him into the shooting pocket. But that's great execution of that step side two-pointer in this case from Connor Frankamp.
5-0 Shocker run. They're shooting 5 of 6 in the second half. And just lightning fast, Mark. They get to a 9-point lead on Loyola.
And Frankamp now 2 for 3 from the floor. Wichita State for the game shooting 56% against Loyola. That's what's different about this Wichita State team, Mitch, that we often think of them as a play-angry, grinded-out, defense, rebounding team. This team has offensive weapons now. And these guys are all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. 2 seniors, both walk-ons. One earned a scholarship, and John Robert Simon.
Who's hurt today, by the way. Wichita State has turned up the heat defensively. They lead by 9 on the road. State by 9, but a special moment here at Gentile Arena.
And there's Sister Jean Schmidt. In the 3rd grade, she decided that she wanted to be a nun, and she became one. She took the ferry across the bay from San Francisco to Oakland, and then traveled to Dubuque, Iowa to become a Sister of Charity. She dedicated her life to education of young people now for 97 years. She came to Mundelein College in 1960. She became the chaplain of the basketball team when she retired in 1994. Sister Jean Schmidt is God's gift to college basketball. She's an inspiration to us all, and she was just presented with the Spirit Award, the Spirit of the Valley Award by Mike Kern, Associate Commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, to Sister Jean Schmidt. What a treasure she is.
97 years young.
Congratulations, Sister Jean. Congratulations. Nothing better than that, is there, Mitch?
No, sir. And the award named after John Sanders, who met his untimely death back in 2003, a terrific person for the Valley. And Sister Jean, what a incredible woman.
It's the best prayer in college basketball. she addresses the crowd before every game, and she compliments the opponents, and then at the end, prays that the Ramblers flat out win.
We put on our Loyola scarves just for a moment.
Let's keep it on for this segment, just for fun. Let's keep it on for this segment, just for fun.
We're neutral, but I love the scarves when they show up in St. Louis.
No offense to the Wichita State fans out there, but if you don't mind, let's honor Sister Jean for the next 4 minutes or so.
Fran Camp starting to get hot. 6 for him.
By the way, I get more compliments on this scarf than anything in my wardrobe. A lot of people think it's a Gryffindor scarf. It's not. It's actually a Loyola scarf. As Connor Frankamp there coming off the dribble. You know, he's had so many layers to his game offensively. Now let's see if Loyola can listen to Sister Jean during the timeout and make a run here. Show a little spirit themselves.
The scarves have become a hallmark in St. Louis during Arch Madness.
Yeah.
And they stick out in the Loyola section.
Well, I don't like to brag, but Sister Jean gave me mine. There we go. Here's the scarves right here. Now,
yeah,
these are not Gryffindor scarves. These are Sister Jean scarves from Loyola, and we're proud to wear them today, at least for this segment of the game. So if we act like homers, we apologize in advance.
Doyle in the spirit of the scarf.
Let's see if Milton Doyle can fuel this comeback. Here we go. Here's the opportunity. The crack of the door is now open. Can they open it wider?
Good place to go. The door for Jackson. He had 13 in the first half. Shaman has his 3rd. That's an issue for the Shockers. It's Greg Marshall ponders.
Yeah, especially late game. He's learned how to be the go-to guy. UConn is on a quest for 100. Gino Auriemma and the #1 Huskies will take on Don Staley at #6 South Carolina Monday in what could be their 100th straight victory. That streak dates back to November 23rd of 2014. Catch all the action 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
And South Carolina stay within 30. 100 in a row.
Yeah, over 50 of those games have been decided by 40 or more.
It's crazy.
I'm just glad I don't have to play them. Little more energy. Loyola starting to figure this thing out at 14 to go. They've got to make a run. Oh! Shaq Morse!
He has dominated Loyola in the paint throughout his career.
Let's see if Andre Jackson, number 24 in white, see if he can answer against Morris. Gee, I wonder who's going to get it.
Trying to get a third foul on Jackson, but a great double.
Yeah, they're going to make him pass. They've got to make him pass. They can't let him go one-on-one.
Ingram, tough day, just 5. He's second in the Valley in three-point shooting percentage. And Brown's fouling.
There's Shaq Morris all over the offensive glass as Landry Shamet takes it from deep, and nobody lays a body. I mean, nobody lays a body on Shaq Morris. Porter Moser's going to see that on the video and go absolutely nuts.
This is a foul on Doyle, and that's his third. So the foul goes against the Ramblers, and now Doyle sets at 13-15. So does Jackson.
Yeah, foul trouble and fatigue. That is what Porter Moser is trying to avoid at any cost.
Shamet fouling. Check that one. 3 fouls on Landry Shamet.
Shockers number 2. Shots 50. This is Landry Shamet.
You know, Mitch, this is a critical time for Loyola. We've seen Wichita State get spurts at this time of the game as they wear you out, they execute you, they get to their full court pressure, they get a turnover here and there. Next thing you know, you're down 15. This Wichita State team, very diverse, very multi-dimensional, offensively and defensively. Depth and diversity are the first 2 terms that come to mind whenever I watch Wichita State this season.
Loyola needs it. Loyola not a good offensive rebounding team. Only 12 teams in the country are worse.
Is he hunting his shot? Connor Frankamp is playing at a high level. Frankamp comes alive. And I'm not talking album here. I'm talking basketball play. I'm not talking artist. But I'm talking artistry.
60% from 3 in his last 4 games.
Frankamp's open again.
Nerger takes a shot. Skopner bit on the fake.
Wichita State on a little mini run here as they're wrestling control of this game in the Windy City. Shockers in an important game, up 11 on Loyola.
11:46, Wichita State hot in the second half.
Remember Peter Frampton?
Yeah.
Remember Frampton Comes Alive? One of my favorite songs is Show Me the Way. Connor Frankamp is showing the Wichita State Shockers the way. This is textbook. This is classic Connor Frankamp. Look at the step back right there. Creates space for his jump shot. Watch this. Through the double team, sees space and knocks it down. This is a Wichita kid that's spinning hits in the doodah. Frankamp comes alive in Wichita, Kansas, and today he's on the road in concert right here at Loyola. Do you feel like I do, Mitch?
Is this more Frampton stuff?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't. He was a phenom, though, at Wichita North High School. Signed at Kansas, Frankamp.
I thought you meant Frampton.
Oh, yeah, Frampton signed.
He's a phenom, too.
At Wichita North? I didn't know he went to North.
He actually lives in Cincinnati now.
Might have gone to North Barry Sanders.
How about the album cover? That's pretty clever.
That is pretty cool.
That's nice.
Fans.
Frankamp Comes Alive.
Wichita State's fans, and there's a backcourt foul on Kelly. It's his third.
Shot foul number 0, Sean Kelly.
6-0 run, biggest lead for Wichita State. And here's where they can just hammer you, put the hammer down, and all of a sudden they have 80 and they beat you by 30.
In some circumstances this year, remember, this is still a young team, and sometimes they play young in these circumstances on the road. But today, so far, I haven't seen any of that. We saw it at Illinois State. But that may have been more about Illinois State than it was about Wichita State. Illinois State's pretty doggone good.
Both of them are.
Yep.
And you look at the advanced matrices actually, because the RPI for Illinois State's good in the 32, but you look at BPI, Ken Palm, Sager, and Wichita State has all of that.
Yeah, both these teams, potentially NCAA tournament teams, are going to take care of business. Got to win games like this. Wichita State's just locked in defensively in the second half. Ingram from deep.
Ingram, first, second half points.
But Loyola's defense now, ball hawking Connor Frankamp. They don't want him to even catch it.
Boy, Nurgen really struggling there. Doyle going to the line.
Well, he didn't settle that time. Milt Doyle in full go, attacking the rim.
Doyle 80%, fourth in the Valley at the line. He was 8 of 10 in Wichita against the Shockers.
Right now, you can see more great basketball as Northern Iowa, who opened the season 0-5, now sits in third place, visits Missouri State. This game is streaming live right now on the Valley on ESPN3, our co-branded network, where you can watch hundreds of Missouri Valley Conference events. It's also available on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. The Valley on ESPN3.
UNI's won 7 of 8. Trying to become the first Valley team since 1925 to start 0-5 and finish with a 500 record or better in the league.
You know what's cool about this conference? You go back like 110 years in history.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about 1920s here. And what Northern Iowa is doing to make up for that 0-5 start.
Only the Big Ten is older in this league.
I thought it was the Ivy.
Yeah.
The Ancient Eight. Maybe they're not as ancient as I think. Good defense.
Shot clock violation. Richardson is one of the most underrated defenders in the league.
Now you're starting to feel some energy now. Big Mo is thinking about shifting toward the white jerseys and Porter Moser. It's a huge possession.
And how much of this is Shamet having 3 fouls?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
When your psychological and physical leader leaves the floor. We saw it with Paris Lee last night.
This could be offensive. Nope, it's going to be on Reeves. And put Ben Richardson at the line, 1-1.
And Loyola's getting the line regularly now.
Here comes Shamet. Richardson and Custer, both out of Blue Valley Northwest and Kansas City. They got another loaded team this year. They're one of the nation's best again. But how big was the recruiting for Mosier to get these two guys?
Represented three-point shooting for him, good decision-making for a team that's highly efficient offensively. I'll tell you, Porter Moser, I got a chance to sit down with him today and watch his shoot-around. You talk about attention to detail. I mean, what he learned from Tony Barone and Rick Majerus.
Yeah, he played in this league for Barone.
Yep. Tony Barone, one of those guys, really good X's and O's, great attention to detail. And Porter Moser learned those lessons well. I think he kind of knows Wichita State as well as anybody I've seen in shoot-arounds.
This is big. If he hits it, Wichita State dodges a problem.
Milton Doyle matched up with Marcus McDuffie. That is a fun one to watch. That was a long 5-second count. That's a foul. It's a good call. On the floor. That was a classic example of the defender invading the offensive player's space. Catch it. So look, see how the defender's riding into him? That's a foul. That's a foul on the floor. That was a really good call.
Third foul on Richardson. Be careful, Richardson. And now he fouls for the 4th time. Back-to-back fouls in just a matter of seconds. For arguably Loyola's best defender.
Neither one of those guys is going to back off on this loose ball. You got Ben Richardson and Austin Reeves. Those are two tough hombres right there. It'll stay Wichita State's ball. Shamet back in the game. Connor Frankamp back in the game.
Loyola hanging in there.
I'd get the ball to Andre Jackson, number 24 in white. He hasn't seen it for a while. I think he deserves it.
He had the slip.
That's an inexperienced mistake. And that's what it turns to. You make mistakes like that, you pay for it dearly on the opposite end. That's why Wichita State wins 82% of their games on the road. They wait for you to make a tactical error.
McDuffie's got his 3rd free throws for Loyola.
And Porter Moser talking to Stockton right now. A teaching moment. You know, Mitch, we've watched this Loyola program become a Missouri Valley Conference program.
Yep.
We've seen it grow. We've seen it improve. We've seen the recruiting in the city of Chicago improve as well.
CBI title in 15.
Yep.
That was important for them to get a postseason championship. You know, the next step is this crowd that's in here today.
Gotta be
He's
here
here every time. Every time.
Every night.
Every night. Shamet.
Random foul number 24, Andre Jackson. 3rd personal.
3rd foul on Jackson.
7th team foul.
Well, Landry Shamet just so good at reading defenders in that ball screen situation.
He's trying to get his back. He took a shot, Mark. Shamet's trying to get his back loose here. He went down on his back. You see him grabbing it. It's the 3rd time he's grabbed it, and he's trying to stretch it out. Last year he had the injury situation.
You know, and he got an apprenticeship year behind Fred Van Vliet.
Yep.
And reading those on-ball screen situations like that, he got to watch that and defend against it on a regular basis. He's learned his lessons well.
How about apprenticing with Van Vliet and Baker?
Yeah. 2 guys are on NBA rosters now.
And who knows where Shamet's career is headed, but both of us think we know where it's headed.
Yeah. He's certainly gifted.
Highest recruit Greg Marshall has ever picked up. Park Hill High School, North Kansas City, near the airport.
Boy, Kelly, just athletic right there. That was a cat on a bird, and the bird didn't win. You know, even when you deflect him, he pulls defenders a long ways away. When you make mistakes like this shot, Wichita State is a championship level team. Rashard Kelly shows you why they're so good.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year, and the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
63-54, Wichita State. Shockers. Loyola stays within striking distance.
Well, there's Wichita State overall record, conference record. The BPI rank is number 21. The RPI rank is number 55. And this is the discussion that recently the NCAA Selection Committee has had with different ranking systems and how they're going to apply them moving forward. Now, they're going to look at them this year, but there's nothing formal as to what they're going to use as being the primary type of computer evaluation system. In fact, I have a problem with the entire criteria and what's ranked. It's kind of beauty in the eye of the beholder, and you can use whatever information for or against any particular team that's on the bubble. To me, the system isn't defined well enough.
Ken Palm, 17. Sagarin, 18. BPI, 21. All good numbers for Wichita State.
Good block off by Shaq Morris with the rebound. He's gonna have to pass. See, McDuffie's got to reverse that basketball right away. If Shaq Morris passes it out, you've got to reverse it to get him in a rotation.
Had to pull. Relentless offensive rebounding team, Wichita State. 12 a game. Doyle has 4.
You know, Mitch, when you look at this current Wichita State team, they have a better scoring margin than the 35-1 team. They have a better rebound margin, by a lot, by the way, over the 35-1 team. They have a better assist-to-turnover ratio by quite a bit over the 35-1 team. And they have a better defensive field goal percentage as well. I mean, this is a bunch of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
Depending on what happens with SMU and Cincinnati today, they should be in the top 25 tomorrow. Wichita State. I mean, they're right there. And what happens in the Northwestern-Wisconsin game. But Wichita State is right there getting ready to be ranked again.
There's only 3 teams undefeated in conference play going into today. Cincinnati's one of them, Vermont, and Gonzaga. Everybody else has lost at least 1 game in conference play. Belmont was one of the few. They lost to Tennessee Tech yesterday. Take a look at these numbers. This is versus the 35-1 team. Scoring margin up by 3.5 points. Rebound margin up by 1.3. Assist-to-turnover ratio 1.48 to 1.30, and defensive field goal percentage 38 versus 39. And there's their national ranks. We're ranked in the top 15 in 3 of those categories, and the top 6 in all of them. And they're freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. I can't stress that enough.
I thought this would be their toughest remaining game before Arch Madness.
He's playing so well.
Confident.
And having fun.
Yep.
And having fun.
He's back at North High.
I mean, there were times when Connor Frankamp looked like he was a little bit lost, trying to find his way, trying to find the right role. Well, he's identified his role and exploited it for Wichita State, and he's having fun playing basketball.
All his points in the second half.
By the way, he had no clue who Frampton was. No clue. I had to explain it to him. I told him to talk to his parents. They'll love him.
Put him on a Drake album, he'll know what it is.
I didn't know the Bulldogs had an album.
I knew that was coming. Adele then.
Boy, they good. They just keep getting better. Arch Madness is going to be something, because I think Illinois State's getting better too. Even without Mikhail McIntosh, I think that might be a good thing for that team.
You know who they are, Mark? Muhammad Ali. They just knock you out.
Yeah, they do.
They play with you, boom, knock you out. This might be the Muhammad Ali of college basketball, Wichita State.
Well, Joe Frazier's about a 2-hour drive away right now.
That's true.
Dan Muller and that bunch.
And just like Frazier and Ali, they've split the first 2 fights.
That's exactly right.
Boy, if they meet in St. Louis, wow.
Oh.
River run the other way.
You gonna say there's gonna be flooding at Yellowstone Park?
Yeah. New Madrid fall. I'd buy a ticket to watch that one.
Yeah.
Castile, extra step, and the roll.
There's life left. Life left. Not a lot, but there's life left. That's his
5 on
fifth.
Richardson, that's it.
Personal foul.
Not one of Ben's better days, but a really good player.
Well, this is the problem for Loyola. Once they get into foul trouble and or fatigue, it becomes a real issue. Now they lose another body.
They're sitting at 16-10. They had a 10-3 non-conference, beat San Diego State. I just hope they get some postseason again. I would love to see this team get some postseason play somewhere.
No, they've got to finish now.
Yep.
There'll be 4 games to go. They still have Illinois State, if memory serves.
Yeah, we'll have that game next Sunday. It's called a promo. It's a tease.
Thanks for bailing me out.
Yeah.
I barely know it's Sunday.
I'm trying to get gremlins out of my body.
You're fine. You've had a strong second half. You've been like Wichita State in the second half. Look at this.
It's like a layup for him.
That's why he shot it, though. He saw the black jerseys coming past him to go to the offensive glass. If they weren't there, he doesn't pull the trigger. But he saw 3 athletes going after the ball on the glass if he misses it. Wichita State up 18. Their average margin of victory is 19. They're squeezing the life out of Loyola right now here in Chicago. The quest for 100, and right now Wichita State, the quest for number 13, is they are trying to keep pace with Illinois State, who won last night over their rival Bradley. Wichita State, here's where we got. At Southern Illinois, and Barry Hinson in that bunch. Northern Iowa at home. Evansville at home. At Missouri State to close out the regular season. We will be there on Saturday, Northern Iowa and against Missouri State to close out the regular season for Loyola. Indiana State, Greg Lansing. At Illinois State. Illinois State playing at a high level right now. Drake at Southern Illinois, and then Arch Madness.
We'll have that game again next Sunday at Illinois State. Northern Iowa will also have Northern Iowa at Wichita State, the only team to beat them at home in the last 4 years.
And Ben Jacobson is obviously righted that ship, opening the season 0-5. Now sit as the #3 seed for Arch Madness. What a comeback by Northern Iowa and Ben Jacobson. That guy can coach. He can flat out coach.
$16 for Custer. 10 in the second half.
All Wichita State needs to do now is take care of the basketball.
Willis has struggled of late too for Wichita State after having a great January, and now a foul going the other end.
But that's part of the beauty of Wichita State, that they've got so many guys that can do so many things. One guy doesn't play well, then somebody else is going to step up. It might be Shaq Morris, it might be Ronald Nerzier, Marcus McDuffie. When you look at what Zach Brown did today, especially early in this basketball game, knocking down shots. Rashard Kelly and his athleticism.
Tyson Smith. Here comes Shaman again. Close it out. Tyson Smith at the line for Loyola. Had to deal with a knee injury. He guts it out every day for the Ramblers, trying to give him some minutes off the bench.
He's hit 6 out of his last 12 three-point attempts. Right there, contributes from the line. 14-point game.
See a big old brace on his left knee.
Wichita State just seems settled whenever Landry Shamit's in the basketball game. Number 11 in black with the ball. Good ball movement.
Man. Thing didn't even.
No, didn't even touch the net.
Close to the rim.
Didn't even touch it. You barely heard it go through the net. Connor Frankamp has become the player that everybody in Wichita had hoped he'd become when he transferred from Kansas. I mean, remember the buzz when he transferred to Wichita State? And then the buzz when he didn't play as well?
Yep.
Is the expectations, a lot of pressure on him.
Better on the road than at home.
But he's shown a lot of maturity.
Yeah, he's got it going now.
And he's never a guy that says, look at me. No. Makes a shot, runs down the opposite end.
And I sense he's not a defensive liability anymore.
No, he's the most improved defensive player on this team. I mean, you don't play for Greg Marshall unless you decide you're going to play some defense. And listen, Connor Frankamp didn't play for quite a while because he wasn't ready to defend at the level that Wichita State expects. But he does now. He does a really good job of moving his feet, staying between the ball and the basket. No way.
He's close to another career high. He gets a career high every game now. He had 18 against Illinois State in that 40-point plus blowout that we had on ESPN2. And Wichita State is headed for 80 again. Mark, they have been 80 or more. They do this 19 times. 19 times. Best scoring team in the Valley in 23 years.
You know, the development of that guy, Landry Shamet, Connor Frankamp, I mean, it just gives them a dynamic 1-2 punch. He's feeling it. And Greg Marshall's just going to let him do it. Because he can make it. These games are the epitome of Big Monday. We've got number 4 Louisville squaring off with Syracuse at the Carrier Dome in the first one at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then it's time for number 13 Press Virginia and number 3 Kansas at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. West Virginia versus Kansas, Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
Well,
it's going to be fun.
West Virginia has no fear in there, that's 1. 2, how good has Frank Mason been?
Oh, yesterday, I mean, I got a chance to watch him against Texas Tech. You talk about a go-to guy that makes plays when the game's on the line. He might be the best sit-down and shut-up player in the country. I mean, every time Lubbock was going crazy, all of a sudden he hits a shot and everybody just sits down and shuts up. Frank Mason was great yesterday. Not good, he was great.
Did the same thing in Manhattan, did the same thing in Fort Worth.
I love sit down and shut up players. You know, there aren't many of them, but when they're good, it's sure fun to watch.
Kaiser.
He's another guy that's showing a lot of promise. He's just playing behind some really good guards.
$80 points again for Wichita State. So where's this headed? There's Frankamp, his new album. He'll be on concert when they get home tonight.
Yep.
They'll be home in time for a 9 o'clock concert, probably on campus.
16 points, 7 for 13 from the floor.
Where's this headed for Wichita State right now?
I think it's headed to wins all the way down the line until they get to Arch Madness. And of course, Arch Madness in St. Louis, that's been a difficult challenge for Wichita State.
Here's the thing about this league, too, interesting, and Doug Elgin's been a terrific leader of this league. RPI is the tiebreaker. Right now, Illinois State, if they tie, Wichita State would be the 1 seed.
Number 1 seed, right?
Yeah. But Illinois State has to go to Northern Iowa.
Yep.
That final Saturday that we'll have Wichita State at Missouri State.
And another big X factor in that discussion is the health of Kyle McIntosh. You know, he said 3 weeks, torn meniscus repaired. It's been, I think, 2 weeks now. But we'll see when and then when he comes back, you know, is he in condition to step in and play right away? Obviously, there's going to be a transition period there. But David Njai has done an excellent job of filling the role in the paint, especially in that 2-3 zone where he intimidated the heck out of Bradley.
Game changer.
That was his best game as a Redbird last night.
Zach Bush in now for the Shocks. Then John Robert Simon, the captain of the mop-up crew, has got an injury. Not playing today. Illinois State. Matter of fact, last night, Wichita State. Matter of fact, today.
Once again, tonight's final score, Wichita State 81, Loyola Chicago 64. For Mitch Holtis and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Mark Adams. Now we send you to studio for ACC Sunday night pregame. Thanks for watching.